Hi, today I would like to show you how you can create a very simple toolbar for your application if you would like to extend the solution and not just using a menu solution or menu type application, but also would like to add a simple toolbar for it. If you want to define the toolbar manually, I mean, at design time, you basically define all the elements of the menu bar, and you don't want to change it. Then it is absolutely very simple because you just need to create the icons for your menu bar and then place it on your screen or on your form where you want to use the bar itself. Or you can also define it dynamically where you are also able to drag and drop elements, or you can dynamically define the elements for the bar, and you can also set enabled or disabled these elements, and also of course you can put the bars or put the toolbar on any forms you want to use. But I'm not going into these details today. I'm just showing how you can create the bars themselves, and of course you can extend your solution with the dynamic solution later on. So basically in my sample application, I created this toolbar with the 6 elements or 6 icons in it, and I show you how I did it. So let's go to the application and let's see what is needed for it. At first, of course, you need to have the toolbar, so the T toolbar from the command controls, and you place it on your screen. And you need two T-image list class as well, one for the enabled icons and one for the disabled icons. So let's start with the toolbar itself. So when you put the toolbar on the form, it's naturally empty, and you can go to the editor mode if you click or right click on the toolbar, and you can add the buttons, check buttons, separator and divider type elements into it. And of course then once you added them, you can edit the details. So I'm not adding now anything because I already did it. I have a toolbar item, as you can see, toolbar, a divider, another button, a separator, then the rest of the buttons. So if you look on the screen, the divider is not that much visible. The separator is just giving an extra space between the icons, and of course the icons are placed after each other. Of course, you can define the different positions of the elements. So if you change the height of the elements, like it was 27, let's put it to 32, and then it will be changing the size of the buttons. But as you can see that that this needs to be linked to the size of the toolbar itself. So you just need to change the height as well. I don't know, to maybe 36, and then it will be a bit better, but it's still not okay. So maybe I need an additional one dot. So of course you can set it to whatever you need. In my case, the icons were 16 times 16 sizes, so I can basically live with the original dimensions. So this was, I think, 26, and that was 22. So in this case, the toolbar looks like this. So once you place the elements on the toolbar itself, and let's go into one, you can of course set up different things. You can set up the caption, You can set up the name itself. Of course, you need to link it to a menu item or to an action if you want to have a function behind the button, and definitely you want to. So you can also set this. You can set the hint text. So basically this will show up if you set the show hint property to show this hint. And yeah, the caption you can also put here, but I mean show caption would be there, but actually this needs to be set by the toolbar itself to be controlled and shown when it is needed. Then of course you can change the style of the button itself or the object itself. So you can see that we have the button drop, check, divider, drop down, separator, and so on. So basically you can change the behavior or even change the button style later on. But here we are not doing it at this moment. And one more thing will be important is the image index. So this will be set to a value which will come from the image list. So let's go now to the image list as well. So these image lists are needed to control the elements or to give the images for the buttons. And to set this up, you can also go to the image uh, image list class on the form, and with the right click you can go to the image list editor. And here you have the option to add your icons either individually. So as you can see, you have add image or add sliced. If you want to separately create the image files, it's possible. In my case, I use the sliced image for the images. And once you add this, the system will automatically create the list of items or a list of images. So if I'm coming here and I have here the toolbar icon, as you can see in this way, so it was a 48 times 48 image, but I was only using the first two rows of it. And the last row was not used, so I just defined 6 icons, and I also created a disabled icon. So this is basically just a simply grayed button image list in the file. So once you add it to your list, then you will see the list of items, and as you can see, the last row in this case was not used. So the indexes from 0 till 5 will be the image indexes. Same for the disabled one, so you can see that I loaded the disabled icons, and these are the grayed icons, and will be the same order as the other one, because the buttons themselves will only use one index number, so these indexes need to be matched to each other. So if you change one image file, then you need to change the other image file as well to be consistent in the numbering. And of course you can define the size of the icons. So why I was having 16 times 16 icons, because that's the standard or the default value for the buttons and also for the images here, or the list, the image list. But of course you can create bigger files or bigger items if you want. So as you can see, now I have here the 16 times 16 and basically that's it. So you have the image files defined for the button images and for the disabled images as well. So now you can link these image lists to your toolbar with the disabled images. So here you can select the disabled images. In my case, it's named disabled images, and then you also have the images with the button images in my case. So this will define, of course, the that where the images should be taken. And then if you want to show the hints, or you want to show the captions of the icons, you can also do it. In my case, I'm not using the captions. It looks better if you only use the pictures or the images in the file. So I'm just using the hints. So when I'm hovering over the buttons, then the hints will be visible. So now everything is linked together basically. You can define here different things if you want, of course, and it's up to you. Can change the color of it, and so on. But in my case, I was not doing anything with the buttons. Only one button, the delete button, I set to disabled. So as you can see that the enabled is false. So this one I set to disable, just to show that how the system is doing the change between the enabled and disabled icons. So basically that's all. Once you are running the application, it's automatically drawing, of course, the toolbar, and when you hover over them and the hint itself is set, then the over the icon you will see the text which is the hint text set in the application. And this is valid for the disabled items as well, and for the enables for sure. Of course, you can programmatically change all these behaviors, and you have the option to also do this drag and drop operation. But if you want to define a fully dynamical toolbar, then you need to put these elements like this TToolBar elements, or TTool button, TTool divider, and so on into a kind of class, and then you can basically dynamically get the toolbar drawn. And once you are going through the elements of the toolbar, you can put the elements to the right place. But this is something, very very much a kind of professional approach. So if you are just starting up and you want to define just a very simple application, you don't need this kind of solutions. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoy this tutorial, and you will be able to create your toolbar based on this. And with this, I wish you a happy coding, and see you next time.